just gonna play Cloudburst version here. My opponent can push a guard, I'm gonna block it, then I attack the Sleeping Widows, and my opponent might guard it, attack me, that's fine, or attack my Cloudburst Griffin, break my guard. Alright, so my opponent doesn't want to do any of that. That last die in hand, I mean, it could be something like Blood Change, but I don't think I want to worry about that. My opponent is not representing not representing strength with all those passes. So I'm gonna, yeah, I think it's worth it to, yeah. So I'm just gonna play around faster. I don't think there's too many reasons for me to play into it. My opponent is gonna attack faster. Alright. So we opened up a very good hand. Old Salt, Root Armor, faster, Clashing Tempers. The faster is a little bit blank here maybe, but I have Old Salt and Root Armor would be really good. So I'm just gonna hit face, I think here. I'm gonna take my damage where I can. Hit with the Cloudburst first to avoid Sympathy Pain. Yeah, Sympathy Pain is gonna hit me or the Cloudburst likely. It's gonna hit me. Alright. That's completely fine. My opponent is on 8 points of life. I'm going to meditate like this. Just prepare faster, just in case, you know. My opponent gets a Surging Tempest down. Alright. So I think I'm gonna get Frost Frog adapted. And then if my opponent keeps doing nothing, I'm just gonna swing face with it. Also, my opponent is not representing Ice right now, which is pretty good for me. And then yeah, I'm gonna Ice Buff. If Ice Buff wants to work, yeah. So Nature's Wrath plus Surging Tempest deals with my Frost Frog. That's alright. I'm gonna play a Cloudburst Griffin. Pass the turn. As long as my opponent is not able to efficiently deal with my momentum, I think I'm in a very good spot. In what case do I want to Root Armor my Cloudburst Griffin or my Hammer Knight? I'm not sure. For my Hammer Knight, I feel like it's already a little bit too late because Faster is already online. My opponent passes into me and allows me just a good Root Armor. Maybe I'll do that. My opponent uses Calming Melody and exhausts my Rin. Alright. So I could adapt to and ice adapt the salamander monk because next round I'm also gonna have clashing tempers for it. Guess I could do that. I also have to keep in mind that my battlefield is starting to fill up, so um no, I think I'm just gonna fire adapt. I think I value the permanent removal and I'm gonna be able to exhaust the spirit with clashing tempers anyways. Oh yeah. I guess my opponent just put down another jump blocker and my opponent doesn't have widows in hand. I have a fairly juicy clashing tempers here. My opponent could have reverberate to kill my cloudburst griffin or my adaptodon. That could be a play. My opponent could also have old salt into surging tempest. My opponent just plays fire archer. Alright. So I'm going to clashing tempers here. I'm gonna fire adapt the doesn't matter. Does it matter? I'm gonna fire adapt the Adaptodon and ice the Cloudburst Griffin because I want the Cloudburst Griffin to survive the most. So we ping the Fire Archer. Widows does not come down. So we get a 6 damage attack here. We're gonna make sure to attack with to deal damage with the Adaptodon first to avoid sympathy pain. And I mean, yeah, we are in business. Yeah, on 11 life, nowhere near lethal. There is 2 sympathy pain in the bin, 1 summon sleeping widows in the bin, 1 fester in the bin, 1 ice trap in the bin. All those cards are pretty important to keep track of. And now I am thinking I'm gonna old salt whatever my opponent plays next. And I'm gonna root armor my knight. But we'll see. Opponent uses Surging Tempest. Alright, gonna draw a card. My opponent does nothing. I think I'll play Old Salt and ping the Salamander Monk. It's a little wasteful, but I mean I could also pass because my opponent cannot pass into me like this. I don't think. Right? Yeah, my opponent can't pass into me like this. My opponent is the one that needs to act. So I don't think I'm in any hurry. My opponent wants to empty pass. Oh, my opponent already passed. Yeah, so that's good. Because my opponent goes first, but like those are not Neil or Meteor colors. So this is not something I need to worry about. My opponent has not shown me too many knights, so I'm gonna get rid of 1 Fester. And Root Armor is a little bit late at this point. I want more action. Drew more removal, but a knight here is very welcome. Aftershock is a super valuable way to get damage through when my opponent is forced to jump block because my opponent has 3 blockers. Whatever blocks my Hammer Knight will die, and Aftershock will clear the way for one of my other units. So my opponent is really in a pickle here. What could get them out of this? I don't know, something like safeguard plus putting down a bunch of blockers, I guess. Because even healing is not enough. Um, Raptor Herder, alright, that's so Raptor Herder, ping your Raptor Herder, make widows is not even good enough because Hammer Knight is gonna clear the way, as I said, with Aftershock. And I also have a natural die of my own that I meditated last round. Surging Tempest is gonna... Okay, Surging Tempest Widows, yeah. Final Cry. Still playing for blood points. Fair enough. Makes sense. I don't think there's any reason for me to Frog Ping. Those colors are not figures in the fog colors. So I don't have to worry about anything on attack. I only have to worry about on damage and on destruction. So this is gonna be GG. GG, well played. Uh, Not gonna lie, this is just like a very easy matchup for Frostfire because my opponent puts no pressure to remove our units, and we have excellent ways to remove chomp blockers. Like imagine if that turned a Clashing Tempers, man, that would have been insane. But yeah, we went for the Teched against Vampire Bat Swarm, Teched against Knight, Teched against mid range like Hippo or something like that. It was yeah. Yeah, so my opponent didn't draw too many allies, I guess, which is why, yeah, like no Old Salt happened, no Old Salt came down, no Knight came down, so didn't put like as good of a defense against all my ping. Um, that's unfortunate. But yeah, so we are now 4-0 in AIL. Thanks again to Shadowfire using the tournament. Sorry for the mess in the recording. I don't know how it's gonna come out. I had to stop and restart OBS a bunch of times because my internet was lagging. I am truly cursed with I'm truly cursed with recording. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, so uh, what do I have to say? Cloudburst Griffin here is one of the rare instances where um, Rune Dweller is actually a little bit better because it races slightly better, and in the end game it puts a lot of pressure on your opponent to remove your stuff because the burn from Rune Dweller is just gets you there over the finish line along with Fire Archers. Um, but I think this matchup is already so good that Cloudburst Griffin is worth it to make your mid-range matchups that much better. Cloudburst Griffin plus ping or Cloudburst Griffin plus Clashing Tempers is a very strong play because it brings to range of like killing a Silver Paladin without being hit back and stuff like that, which is huge, and it makes our Hammer Knight all that much better. But alright, I've spoken enough, and my parents need me to do some garden work. So I'm gonna see you next time.